Hi, I'm Michelle Stirling for Friends of Science Society. At our recent CLIMATE DOGMA EXPOSED event in Calgary, I had a chance to talk with MLA Drew Barnes from Cypress-Medicine Hat about the ongoing harassment by the NDP against him and his colleagues on climate change.
You know, a short time ago I made a small donation to John Robson and some crowdfunding he was doing to take a further look into this. That lasted in the legislature for a week. The government, the NDP, trying to, I guess, bully me into being quiet about it. And in a free society, in a province where we all should be involved, it's absolutely wrong.
Drew Barnes had created a bit of a Twitter controversy when he tweeted out a challenge to any NDP MLA to join him at the event. But since then, it's been a non-stop bully fest in the legislature on climate change, even as the Wild Rose MLAs are pushing for economic prosperity and Canadian oil for Canadians.
A colleague, Prasad Panda from Calgary Foothills, had a motion yesterday about increasing free trade opportunities for Eastern Canada, which would increase pipeline and oil and gas development opportunities for Alberta and Western Canada. And that's what we were debating on. And after I stood up and expressed my support for it and my reasons why, one of the NDP MLAs, again from Calgary, in his talk about it, of course it comes out that the MLA from Cypress-Medicine Hat is a climate change denier. And it's the form of bullying, it's the form of trying to hinder free expression and free speech that I've seen in the House when it comes to this topic.
I asked Drew how he came to challenge the alleged consensus on climate change.
We know there's climate change. We are absolutely concerned about the environment. But let's have a full, frank discussion about what is really happening. Then let's have a discussion about the best policy to...
Drew mentioned a topic that became part of the evening's presentations, how Canada is rooted in a trade confederation and we export our rich resources to the world.
150 years ago, Canada started because of a trade confederation and a growth hope. Let's work with our Canadian partners to do the best for all of us. And you know, Michelle, I feel unless we're having these discussions in an open, way like you were doing here tonight with Friends of Science, it inhibits it, or worse yet, it doesn't happen.
As one of our speakers later discussed that evening, there are serious concerns that Canada may not survive climate change policy and unattainable GHG targets.
Strong economies have good environments. The carbon leakage is maybe the biggest fear. I understand only 0.4% of the world even has a carbon tax. So here we are in maybe the coldest part of the whole world. And what's this going to do to our concrete, our fertilizer, our steel companies, our companies that have built Alberta and built Canada?
The Alberta NDP continue to harp on climate change as settled science, with even NDP MLA Marie Renaud of St. Albert getting up in the legislature and making unsubstantiated claims about climate science that are hotly debated in the climate science community, and throwing in a little bullying for good measure.
I know it's tough for the Wild Rose and PCs or whatever they're called to accept this, but global warming is settled science. And denial is the hoax.
I believe that it's just their way of again, trying to inhibit me talking about it and others. And I hope that it's going to do the opposite. I hope it's going to encourage people like me and other politicians and other Albertans to get strong about, hey, let's have this conversation. Let's talk about what the truth is. Let's talk about what the best policy is. And let's ensure that we do our very, very best for Canada, for Alberta, and for the next generation.
Climate science is our area of expertise. We have been reviewing climate science for 15 years. We are a group of Earth, atmospheric, and solar scientists, economists, and professional engineers who review the data and the policies and who have reviewed the climate science literature of the IPCC and other dissenting points of view. We have a network of internationally acclaimed experts and economists who we work with and consult with. And we can tell Marie-France, NDP MLA for St. Albert, that she has been misled by activists and green crony capitalists who have their hands out for subsidies from Albertans who are facing economic distress. Climate change is real. Humans do affect it, but we do not control it. To Premier Notley and her cabinet, we ask you respectfully to stand up for the rights of scientists as you stand up for the rights of other people in Alberta.
I encourage everyone to stand up against bullying in all its forms. Let's end bullying and make the world better. Let's end bullying!
Please, argue the science. Don't be a climate bully. For Friends of Science Society, I'm Michelle Stirling.